pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all.
Amen.
All right, we have approval of minutes, and I'm going to ask a favor. I haven't looked at them, so can we push those to the next meeting? Thank you. Is there a motion to continue the approval?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved, 5-0. Next item, open forum. It's a period of the meeting where if people want to come forward to comment on issues in Narragansett, we're going to have a brief one tonight, but we did want to include it on our agenda.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, everyone. My name's James Durkin, and myself and my wife are building the hotel. You all probably know that. So we're trying to open up by June 19th, and we've been through, I'm sure what you know, what we've been through, months and almost a year of zoning board meetings and everything. And so we're ready to open. We were granted a liquor license by the town council in 2013 that had certain restrictions on it that, which appear on the new license today. But, the manager of the hotel went down to the town clerk's office to get the license and was told that the liquor service is only going to be available to the main dining room. And I just don't know what that's all about.
So you got approval, I remember it was the night, I remember in 2013, then you get the second one at the meeting the night before the election. I remember that. I wasn't here that night. There was only meeting I missed.
I don't think you were here for the first one.
I may not have been. I definitely wasn't here for the second one. So, do you want to know the nature of your tavern license or
I think
liquor
Mr. Durkin
license?
should meet with me tomorrow and the solicitor.
That's fine. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, so
I'll meet
Ann,
first thing in the
Dawson,
morning.
and Jimmy will meet
I'll
tomorrow.
I'll be in district court. I'll try to find a time that's available. Mr. Durkin has imposed significantly on the time of town employees, and I fully understand the economic constraints that come with trying to get your business open, sir. But I would just bring to the council's attention that I had that conversation with Mr. Durkin's employee today. That's not specifically what was related. So there's a little bit of game of telephone here between he and his employee. So I'd be happy to take this into consideration, but I think this is kind of a passive-aggressive means of communicating, Mr. Durkin, and you haven't had particularly smooth sailing, not by any bureaucratic means, but frankly by the means you've pursued your own project. So I'd be happy to meet with the town clerk and you to discuss your license. But making insinuations or mischaracterizing conversations is certainly no way to improve efficiency.
And then we'll ask for probably a briefing on that down the road, exactly what that looks like, so we know all the details, so.
Okay, so is that going to be first thing in the morning? That we good for 8:30 or?
If you'd like the conference at the district court, you'd be happy to speak with you there.
Jimmy, why don't you meet with the Dawson and Ann offline to set up a time? We don't need to do it on the record here.
Okay.
We'll find a time.
And then we'll want to get an update on what's going on, if, down the road, okay?
Thank you.
Stan?
I read a little bit in the paper about the Homestead Act, and I think I get real nervous when I hear inequality, discrimination. We hire a company, Vision Appraisal, to get an equitable value for every property in town, and that's what we should be taxed on. We shouldn't be taxed as a business. I hear that's, we're taxed on the value of the property. Anytime government tries to give somebody a break, at the expense of somebody else, that is so wrong and so unequal. It's almost un-American. It's discrimination, it's un-American. And I don't know, I really kind of beg that you don't even allow people to come up here to try and discriminate, cause discrimination to happen. I just beg you not to. Now we got neighbors and people fighting each other. Oh, you're going to get it, you're not going to get it. Oh, you live here, you don't live here. Oh, well, you live here how long? Oh, you rent, you don't rent. Oh, I want proof that you rent, or you register your car. I mean, you're going to have to hire 1 or 2 administrators. It's going to cost you $3 million with the pensions and all to try and go through this stuff. Stay with division appraisal. They're the experts. They've done it. Fight with them when they make a mistake if they do. But don't make it worse, and don't cause us residents to be fighting each other with this homestead thing. We need to nip this in the bud. It's really a disaster. And I know Johnson, I read in the paper, they were still, weeks ago I read that, they were having trouble trying to figure out who's lying, where they live in, how are we going to check on that? Again, government's going to check on where you live, where you register your car. I mean, what kind of government are we living with? That's not the America I want to see here. So let's try to stop this before it gets carried away with some vocal minority that's trying to get a tax break. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. All right, if there's no one else, okay, then we will move on to our main agenda, new business. Item number 1, a motion to adopt the appropriation ordinance for the 2015-16 fiscal year.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
Discussion. This is a second reading of our budget ordinance, so if there's no new information regarding the budget that's come forward, then I'll entertain all in favor.
Aye.
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 All opposed. Motion approved 5-0. Item number 2, a motion to adopt a resolution establishing an administrative compensation schedule for fiscal year 2015-16.
I'll move the motion.
Second.
Discussion. Pam, do you want to speak briefly to this?
These are the people that are not in a union in our town. These are the SMT, mostly the senior management team, along with a couple of confidential secretaries, executive assistant to the town manager, the executive assistant to the police chief, the senior citizens coordinator, and the towers coordinator. They got 2.5%, just like every other person in our employee in this town has. And we did budget for it, is included in the budget, 2.5%. So I would appreciate it very much, as would these tremendously hardworking people. They are our leadership. They're the ones that are guiding and developing the operational actions of the town from the policy you set, and I rely on them every single day, and I hope that you will see the value in making sure that they too get recognized in the budget year. Thank you.
Pam,
Thank you.
I can see the ranges. Why is the Public Works Director, why is that highlighted in yellow?
Why is that what?
In yellow.
Oh, it's a
And just
typo.
fixed it.
So you just corrected it?
Yes, 58, the first column in the current range should be 58,633.
In your attachment, it should be 68. So it was wrong on the
68?
attachment. It was wrong.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, that's why, that's the only reason. And the towers coordinator's in red because this is the first year she's been a full-time employee and is on this list, and she is non-union.
Good. Good to hear she's still non-union.
She's non-union.
Now, these, oh, sorry.
We dodged that bullet, right?
So far.
Now, when was the last time these were adjusted or proposed to adjust? Just curious.
Oh, what do you mean?
The new range, the proposed new range, how
There's
often?
just 2.5% added.
No, all I'm saying is, was this
When's the
done
last time?
last year,
Yes.
year before? and
Yeah, but
okay.
it was a different wage scale last year. It wasn't 2.5%.
Okay, now, are these, I'm all for giving you the authority and to do with it as you see fit, as far as raises. Are these performance-based raises, or are these across-the-board raises?
These are 2.5% across the board. I will tell you that I have evaluated every person that's in the SMT, in the senior management team. Every single person received above an 80. Most received above a 90. They're very, very accomplished. I'm very fortunate to have them. I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of people that have come in new, me included, Dawson included, Laura included. We come with a lot of experience, but we're very fortunate to have the years and years and years of people that have worked here, that are listed on here, to help us as we get our, we get our feet under us and we know the town better. I would say that yes, everybody was evaluated, and they certainly do. Evaluated my assistant, and so did Dean Hoxie, the chief, evaluate his assistant, and I really do strongly believe they should be compensated.
Oh, I have no problem with it. You basically bumped up the range 2%, and you want to work with that. I have no problem. I just want to be reassured that they just weren't given carte blanche, or they were actually evaluated. And you've
They were
answered that
all-
question.
They were all evaluated.
Sounds good. She needs a raise.
Ann's a very hard worker, I'm telling you.
Just so we're clear for the public, it's basically a 2.5% increase
Yes.
for department heads.
And that's what the unions received, and well, you approved earlier this spring, or maybe even late winter, a chart for Steve Wright and the seasonal employees that we have. And that was more of a range. They're based on the increase in the minimum wage and other factors. But everybody in this town this year is getting 2.5.
Boy, that's going to have a real trickle-down effect the next couple of years.
It really is going to. That, the minimum wage, it really is, yes. We've already seen it.
You wait. Oh,
We've
yeah.
seen it, yes.
All right, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved, 5-0. Item number 3, a motion to approve, ratify, and confirm the purchase of light pole banners for the Business Community Light Pole Banner Sponsorship Program for Material Promotions Incorporated in the amount of $2,950.
I'll move the motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Can you all see it?
Nice
Yes,
price.
very nice.
Can
Dan,
you-
do you want to see it? It's right here.
These are the new banners that are going to go up in the pier area. And we do 50 right now. Let me talk about this a little bit. Chris Wilkins came to me a short time ago and asked, that it came from the EDC committee, that the new banners should be put up, and we should have an opportunity for the business community to put their logo, their Eat at Joe's at the bottom. You see the grommets at the bottom. We've got a space where by grommets and carabiners, we can attach it'll be a different color. It'll be at the bottom of the banners. It will sway a little bit. And the town is taking care of the upper banner, as we have always taken care of the upper banner. The chamber is taking care of leasing. It basically is a lease because it lasts about a year.
Can the camera see that? Dan, can
Dan, good.
Okay, at the bottom, we'll be putting your business here, Joe's Diner or Joe's Plumbing. Ziggy's, yeah, the Break Hotel, yes. No liquor.
Jim, you should buy 10 of them.
So they have to be used for business only, no memorials of any kind. The little space at the bottom. The chamber we're meeting with them again this week, and we're going to discuss the facts of buying one of those on the bottom. We aren't handling it, the chamber is.
Right, there were some concerns about that. The chamber will be doing that, and then the chamber, and the proceeds will go to the chamber as well, right?
As I explained to a lot of people,
Because there was
I believe
a little bit of
It was the
confusion.
EDC that asked what was going to happen with any proceeds. Now, this is a trial year in the chamber, and we know that thoroughly. We have no idea if there will be revenue, quite honestly. We don't know how this is going to work. And the chamber is wide open with the town to seeing at the end of the year what kind of money we've got out of this and how we're going to divvy it up, or maybe it will in fact pay for the whole banner in the future. Right now, you put about $5,000 aside each year for the banners, and you have done that. So these only came in at what, $2,000 $950.
But the chamber, I just want to, because there's, you know, the EDC and chamber worked on this together, but I think now the chamber is going to be taking the leadership role on, in terms of the piece of it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Chris
it
is shaking his head no down there. There was a
No?
lot of confusion around it.
I'm
And
getting
so
confused.
I think we should, after this gets going, have you come to EDC with the chamber again, because there was a lot of confusion on who was
Yeah.
the stakeholder in it.
And I
So-
did offer that,
Yeah,
Susan. I've
so-
offered that.
So maybe it would be helpful so that EDC, the town, and the chamber are all together again, because I was at that meeting, and there were a lot of confused people on who was getting a piece of it, was the town, was
There
the
are
chamber?
no pieces right now. I want to make that very clear. This is town money that's going to buy these, that we put in the budget every year. It's going to buy the main part of the banner. What we're talking about being any revenue, if there is any at all, because they are not planning on charging outrageous prices for this. The estimates, now, I don't know where the chamber's going to land on this, because it depends on how much it costs to produce the flap at the bottom that has the business on it. And we don't know yet how much that's going to cost. So they're thinking $200 to $300 a year, with this being strictly a trial year.
Yeah, so that's fine, but again, if we could come back together and really clear
Oh,
that
yeah.
up with everybody, I think it would be
I
really
have offered
helpful.
to meet with the EDC and to bring
The
the
chamber
gentleman
with you.
from the DPW who puts these all up for us and has done the graphics, and people from the chamber. We can
Okay,
all
good.
sit down,
Perfect.
and I think it will wait till fall, because I believe they don't meet in the summer.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I think one of the takeaways from this, I don't want to belay it, but is it's not just open to Chamber of Commerce members. It's open to all
Right.
small business members. Now,
Right.
whether you're
It
a
is.
doctor, you're a dentist, whether you have a landscaping business, you have a restaurant, if you live in the town of Narragansett, or if you have a business based in Narragansett, call the chambers, reserve your spot, and get up on the telephone pole as soon as you can. It's a really good deal. It's designed to promote the local businesses, period. And all the money, original concept was all the money that we made from the sale of these bottom tags goes into making new ones so we can expand into the north end, and the north end businesses can, you know, take advantage of it as well. The idea is expand, beautify the town, and also at the same time promote your local businesses. So it's pretty good stuff going on there.
So the first 50 are down here in the center of town, Chris?
Yeah, it's always been in the center, in the pier area.
There's 50 of them?
We ordered 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Point Judith has their own. Galilee has their own banners. So we're starting back where we always spoke, because all our hardware is all hanging from the telephone poles as they are. Then after we start turning a profit on this stuff, it pays for itself, then we start expanding up to the north end business district.
Nice.
Oh, Stan, yes. Did you get a look at it?
It's very nice. As he said, I was just hoping, I'm hoping the cost eventually comes off the taxpayer. Like we've had, I guess you said 5,000, or whatever it is, it's going to be successful. I can just see it. It's a nice sign and all. So one of the things we want to do is the cost shall come off the taxpayer as we reap in all these profits, let's say.
That's why I want to kick it more to the chamber.
That's
That's my
right.
goal, actually,
Okay, so-
yeah.
Well,
so
Stan,
next
you
year-
can get the
next year-
ball,
next-
you can get the ball rolling tonight here, Stan. And you can buy the first
You want me to
banner,
buy one?
come right out of the
I got to
gate.
check with my wife. She has all the money.
Your company logo looked very nice up there.
As long as, like I say, as long as looking long-term at, they are going to pay for themselves, right?
Well, that's the idea, to take them out, they basically put them in the private sector and pay for it.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion approved 5-0. Before we adjourn, I know tomorrow, because there are people at home, we do have an election for District 33, the House seat, so I want to let people know the voting locations. So voting locations for the most north end of town is going to be at St. Veronica's Chapel. People who vote usually at Metatuxet Yacht Club will be voting at the Narragansett Community Center. And people who usually vote in the middle of town, the small polling location at Canachet, you'll be voting here in Town Hall. Okay, so I know there's not a lot out in the audience, but for those at home, I want people to be able to know where they're going because it's different than usual. All right. That said, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Thank you all.